Was mighty impressive. I want to say it. No, no. You've said that like 1,000 times this year. You can't keep living your life game by game. Shh. They're so back. Folks. That one felt pretty darn good. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 105 of the regular season, where the Astros salt the earth of the Tampa Bay Rays 17-4 in an absolute just curb stomping to tie the series at 1 apiece. The Astros, and I know it isn't, but for what feels like the first time this year, have a complete, healthy, and correct lineup. And what do I mean by correct? I mean, you have McCormick in there, and you got Diaz behind the plate. This is, I feel, the best lineup the Astros can wheel out there, and by God, did it show. Altuve went 1 for 5, and Tucker went 0 for 6. And they still scored 17 runs. And I understand that 5 of those were in the 7th inning off of a non-pitcher, but ye gad, take that out, you still have 12 off of real real pitchers from the Tampa Bay Rays in 7 innings, because you didn't even get to the bottom part of the 9th. I mean, good lord. Is it a speed run? I think it's time for a speed run. Yainer Diaz in the 2nd inning with a 2-run home run to put the Astros up 2-0. Then Jeremy Pena with a base-clearing double to make it 5-0 Houston after the 4th inning. Then in the 5th inning, Chas McCormick with a 2 RBI triple to make it 7-0 Houston. Yainer Diaz would double after that to make it 8-0 Houston. In the 6th inning, Jose Abreu with a 3-run home run. Jose Abreu starting to heat up, looking pretty darn good this series. Back-to-back days with home runs for Jose Abreu in Minute Maid Park. How about that for you guys? 11-0 Houston. Isaac Paredes would homer for the Rays, boo, to make it 11-2. Then in the 7th inning, the Astros open it back up again. Altuve homers to make it 13-2. Alex Bregman homers after that to make it 15-2. Yordan Alvarez homers back-to-back with Bregman. How about them going back-to-back? It's like it's 2019 again, fellas. And if they end up getting Justin Verlander, which would be pretty darn funny, it really would be like 2019 again. Anyway, back to this. Yordan Alvarez homers to make it 16-2. Then Wander Franco homers, again, boo, 16-3. Jeremy Pena with a force-out/error by the Rays to make it a 17-3 game. And then Isaac Paredes, again, homers in the 9th inning to make it 17-4. Offensively speaking tonight, you could pull names out of a hat and say, they looked really good, and you would probably be correct. Jeremy Pena had multiple hits, also had 4 RBI this evening. Nothing too shabby there. Alex Bregman went 1 for 3, but a very underrated 1 for 3. Also had a pair of walks, pair of runs scored, pair of RBIs with the home run, and a bonkers defensive play in the 1st inning, which obviously now that looks insignificant to take 1 run away from the Rays, but who knows what happens there. Hunter Brown has kind of been known to get antsy once he gives up a run. If that run comes home in the 1st, maybe the game kind of spirals out of control for the Rays and they end up winning it. Who's to say? I know that is very bold of me to say that one defensive play in the 1st could have swayed it, but butterfly effect is a real thing. Who is to say what would have happened if Bregman hadn't made that beautiful defensive play? Yordan Alvarez had one of the most low-key 3-hit nights of his career. Jose Abreu looked great. 3 for 3, had a walk, 3 RBI, home run, unbelievable night. Maybe the best offensive night for Jose Abreu as an Astro. Chas McCormick had 3 hits as well, including a pair of RBI for him, and 3 runs scored for old Chazzy McCormick. Yainer Diaz had a pair of base hits, 3 RBI. Jake Myers had 3 hits. Very nice night for Jake Myers, by the way. The offense was unbelievable, but you do not need me to tell you that. You can look at the box score and realize, oh, they torched them. And the weirdest thing in this game, because in the 7th inning, the Rays give up. Like, notably, they give up. They trot out Pinto to pitch. Like, that is you've waved the white flag. But then they come back in the 8th with Jake Diekman, and it just... did the Astros put up so many runs off of Pinto that they were like, oh, this would actually be even more embarrassing than just getting blown out a little bit. We need to put in a real pitcher. Like, I think the Astros did so much damage in the 5th inning, the Rays went, oh, I mean, we do have somewhat of a reputation to uphold here. So we move to pitching, and that's where there's a touch of controversy because Hunter Brown was magnificent for 6 innings. Dusty sends him out there for a 7th, and it gets away from him. A couple runs come to score on his ledger. It got out of hand for him in the 7th. And I'm not going to say it didn't. He didn't record an out. it was bad. Here's the thing. Hunter Brown came into the season with a lot of very, very high expectations. Now, were some of those unwarranted simply because his mechanics look very, very similar to Justin Verlander? Yes. People that thought he was going to come in and just be Justin Verlander reincarnated on the Astros were kind of putting too much pressure on him. I thought I was being very conservative this season when I said he was going to be like a 3.5 to a 3.7. He's still over 4, which is nowhere near what I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a little bit better than that. And so you're kind of at a point now where he's okay. He is noteworthy. I think he has a future, but this isn't some young kid with a beautiful ERA. He doesn't have a sub 2 or a 2.5 that you're trying to kind of preserve for him. It's an above 4, and sometimes you just got to kind of tell him, hey, tough crap, you're going to go be an innings eater for the night. I think that's sort of where you're at right now, where you just want him to give you innings. Tried to let the bullpen rest a little bit more, tried to get a 7th inning out of him. It didn't work, but I don't blame Dusty for trying to get a 7th out of him, by any means. Stanek would come in, looked fantastic, struck out a pair of batters. Ryan Stanek, really, really solid evening for him. Peter Mushinski came in. Parker Mushinski. I almost bamboozled myself, but I corrected it. Good for me. Parker Mushinski comes in, gives up a run. It wasn't incredible or anything, but at the same time, it was like 17-0 at that point, so who really cares all that much? Rafael Montero came in the 9th and also didn't look wonderful, but also looked good because Rafael Montero, he would give up a walk and also a pair of hits and also a home run. And then he struck out the side to boot with that because Rafael Montero, ladies and gentlemen, in the year of our Lord 2023. I don't have any answers either. So a fun little bit of housekeeping real quick before we get to it. The Rangers are currently losing 4-0 to the Padres, which would put the Astros 1 game back of the division lead. And tomorrow, those Padres are going to send out Blake Snell, who is having a very nice return to form this season. So it's very possible that the Astros could be tied for the division lead tomorrow afternoon. But time will tell about that, and the Astros would still have to do their part, which is a game tomorrow afternoon at 2:10 Eastern, 1:10 Central, where the Astros will send Brandon Bielak to the mound, and the Tampa Bay Rays will send Zach Littell to the mound, which sounds like a Disney character for a French mouse. Anyway, I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. That is all I have to say for the evening. If you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.